What is good, Sixers Nation? Welcome on into the show, man. Philly Take with RB. I'm RB. Welcome on in, everybody. You know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the show. And ring that bell, man. Ring that bell, brother. Let's go. We have a lot of good stuff to talk about today, man. James Harden, Kevin Durant partying with Travis Scott. James Harden, workout videos emerging left and right. Kevin Durant doubling down on a trade request. What does that mean for the rest of the Eastern Conference? And a whole bunch more, man. Took a few days off, but we're back. I'm excited. Man. And we have a lot to talk about. Once again, welcome on into the show, Philly Take with RB. Make sure you're following us on all platforms, wherever you get your audio podcasts as well. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the show. We'll get to your phone calls later on if you want to call in 508-924-3784. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And I'm definitely interested in, hearing what people have to say regarding this whole debacle going on with the Brooklyn Nets and how it could impact the Sixers. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Let's Get Checked, leading provider of at-home medical testing kits. If you want to avoid those long, tiresome, boring doctor's visits, you want to get the rapid results that you need, check out Let's Get Checked. Their link is down in the description. Shout out to them for making it happen. All right, man. All right, we have to get into it. Once again, shout out to everybody. Hope you are all doing well on this Tuesday evening. We are nearing September. And what does that mean? It means training camp is on the way. We'll be covering it all. Then we'll get into game action. I'm excited. I am excited, man. All right, let's talk about it. So, we start today's show with the whole, James Harden thing, Kevin Durant. If you've been sleeping under a rock for the last however long, let's just say that some very interesting things went down this past weekend. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It's interesting to see these guys out in public together. It's interesting to see them out together in the public. And yeah, man. I mean, it's very interesting. Very interesting. But before we start with that, we need to get into something else to kind of lighten the humor. Okay, we need to lighten the mood, right? You got to get started. You got to get the juices flowing. It's been a little bit. We got to get the juices flowing a little bit, okay? We got to have a good time here. That's what we do here on the show. And let's talk about this. I didn't even want to talk about it, but I see everybody talking about it, so we have to. We have to. So yesterday, Rick Boucher, if you remember him, he was one of the two guys that, we're talking pretty heavy months ago about James Harden. Rick Boucher, the guy with the blonde hair. You'll see him in a second. Rick Boucher says that after Game 3 against the Boston Celtics last year, the Brooklyn Nets players had a group chat and texted Ben Simmons asking if he would be ready to play in Game 4. And according to Boucher, not only did Ben Simmons not respond, he left the chat. Ben Simmons has left the chat. Now, this is according to Rick Boucher. First and foremost, do I believe this? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, this is probably just a way to try to draw in viewers and bring people in. But is it hysterical? Is it extremely funny? Yeah. Why? Because it is the one player that you might actually be able to talk yourself into here and believe this. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So this is the report that comes out. And today, Ben Simmons gets a hold of it. And, this is a guy that he looks, right? He scans, he watches, he sees what happens and what goes around. He's always looking around. And he actually tweets about it and says, slow news day. I don't believe that this was true, but it is very funny. And I'm just trying to lighten the mood here because it all ties in. That's the beauty of this whole thing. It all ties in. It all ties in. It's so beautifully. And look, man, I'm just going to keep it real as we always do here on the show, okay? I'm just going to keep it real. I could not have predicted this any more accurately. I could not have nailed this anymore. I followed the entire Ben Simmons story on this show. And not only did we continue to do that, but we predicted exactly what was going to happen here. And yesterday, Kevin Durant had another meeting with the Brooklyn Nets. This will tie in later to what we need to get to. And he essentially told the Nets ownership, once again, reiterated for a second time that he, quote, does not have faith in the Brooklyn Nets direction per Shams. He reiterated his trade request to the Nets governor, Joe Tsai, and says he has to choose between Durant or the pairing of Marks and Nash. You see how beautiful this is, how it all ties in together? Because I remember weeks ago, certain callers telling me that, there was no way Kevin Durant was going to leave. He had to say, I'm telling you, he does not want to be there. He does not want to be there. And you want to see how this all comes full circle? Because Kevin Durant was seen with James Harden. He was spotted with James Harden at a Travis Scott concert, which we will also get to later. But this all goes back to Ben Simmons, and it's just funny. It's just funny, and I think that, there's just something with that guy. There's something with him. We're not going to continue to talk about it, but, these things just continue to pop up, and in a way, you kind of make the Philly fan base look a little bit better here because these things continue to come out. Maybe they're not true, but still, they continue to pop up. They continue to pop up. And it's just nuts. It's nuts. And KD, as I said multiple times, doesn't want to be there. Why? Well, let's start to put this together a little bit. In fact, it might start to seem like Kevin Durant never had a problem with James Harden. In fact, it actually seems like James Harden won. It seems like he won. Nets ownership, Nets governor, replied yesterday on Twitter. He says, our front office and coaching staff will have my support. We will make decisions in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets. So there's your decision right there. Brooklyn is going to choose their coach and ownership. Why? Because this guy has a lot of power. He has a lot of money. He doesn't want to be defeated. And with this whole thing going on with the players, he doesn't want to be taken down, right? He can't let a player take over and have that reign. And it's like, wow. So they're going to have to find a way to trade Kevin Durant. But circling this all in, the fact of the matter is, I was right. The problem is Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons. For months, they tried to make James Harden to be the bad person. James Harden is a terrible person. He's a terrible character. He doesn't want to win. He doesn't want to get better, when in fact, time and time again this offseason, we've seen him putting in the work. He wants to get better. He wants to grind. He wants to work. He's trying. He's saying the right things. Meanwhile, Simmons still hasn't touched the basketball floor. KD doesn't trust the availability of Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons. I would probably put money on it that Kevin Durant wants them to get rid of everybody. I don't think he wants to play with those guys. And we think back, we remember, right, they made a whole thing about that All-Star thing, and it was on the day of the deadline, and Harden gets traded, and they weren't talking. Well, those two are hanging out at a concert together. How does that look in the public eye? How does that look in the public eye? In fact, the Brooklyn Nets are in turmoil. They have nowhere to go. They don't have many future picks that belong to themselves. They don't have consistent, reliable players. And Kevin Durant, the guy, wants out, and he is forcing an ownership to pick between him and a staff, and they're going with the staff. So it doesn't look promising for them at this point, which for me, better for us, right? We're, Eastern Conference, we're trying to improve. We're trying to make our way up. And we'll see what happens with that. But it is very interesting. Here's James Harden watching this whole thing unfold. Like I said, James Harden won. Harden got out of the toxic situation before it unfolded. He saw what was coming. He saw what was coming. He saw the multi dimensional characteristics and personalities of these guys coming together. He said, nah, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. And once again, Daryl Morey was able to get his guy and got rid of a problem child. So it's just crazy how this continues to play out. It's crazy how this continues to play out. And, again, do I think this story is real? No. But what I will say is that, these things just continue to add up. They continue to add up. And I just think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. And again, we will circle back later on and talk about how this impacts the Eastern Conference. But, the Sixers got the better of the deal. They did. And, I'm glad. I'm happy with where we're at. I'm happy with who we have and what we got. Another quick funny thing is that in response to this, right? And, we'll talk about the concert, but, people are losing their minds. People are losing their minds. I'll tell you more later in the show as we get there. But shout out to Rick Bennett with the $10 donation. Appreciate the love, man. Thank you for supporting the show. Says, what's up, all? Shout out to Rick. Shout out to the members in the house. RJ, I see you up in here, man. What's going on? Speed Demon in the house. Pat, Nick, what's going on? How's everybody feeling? Dave, what's going on? Edward from Sweden. It's 1:30 in the morning. Edward, you are a real one, my man. You are a real one. Like I said, guys, we've been off for a couple days. I apologize for that. I'm trying to pump these shows out as much as possible. I'm putting things together in the works. But what I need from you is the support. I need y'all to hit that thumbs up button. We got over 100 in here. We got to get it to 100 likes. We're not even close. Hit that thumbs up button if you do enjoy these shows. Let me know if you enjoy these shows, the format, the style. Give me some thoughts and feedback. I appreciate it. But anyway, to sum it up, if you're just coming in a little bit late, by the way, hit that notification bell so you don't miss getting in here on time. The Brooklyn Nets are once again exploding. I predicted the entire thing. I predicted it. They're going down. It's like somehow I knew exactly what was going to happen. And for months and months, when they said he was going to come back, when they said these guys were going to play, they were going to mesh, they were finals contenders. I'll never forget that. And not much to show for it. And now Kevin Durant wants out. Meanwhile, our guy James Harden is getting to the money, baby. He's in the gym. He's working. We're going to take a look at some of his clips, some of the things going on with James Harden. As of right now, once again, we don't have much to take a look at. He said the right things. But right now, there's like a series of runs, a series of games going on, right? You got the Rumpf Classic, and then you had that one in New York, and just a bunch of little tournaments, the Rico Hines runs, a bunch of, scrimmage games, guys that, are dreaming of being in the NBA one day against some of these professionals coming up. And you can't take these seriously, but it is good to see. It is good to see James Harden and some of these new workout videos coming out where he looks slimmer. It looks like he is continuing to put in work and trying to be the best version of himself and continuing to get better. That's all we want to see. That's all we want to see, right? So I like it, man. I like it. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the James Harden clips. This came out a few days ago, once again from the Rico Hines runs. Harden going up against some of these Toronto Raptors. And we have another clip after this that we'll look at that I want to talk about because some people are losing their minds. But anyway, let's go take a look. What a spin by Harden. By the way, he is improving on that mid-range. It looks like he's more willing to take it. Obviously, we need to see in the game. I think that's Thaddeus Young. Harden pulls up over him. Harden getting to the money. Look at that. Someone set a screen for him, Harden, using a little bit of that separation, knocking down the midi. Sam Cassell is working with Harden and Maxey and these guys, and he is trying to improve his game and get back to shooting that mid-range. If he could shoot a mid-range shot at just a decent clip, it doesn't have to be spectacular. If Harden could do that and get his shot back from deep, I mean, there's no saying what this team, what this offense could be, man. And now he's getting healthier. Look at that. He's operating out of the post. Let's go, man. And he's just having fun. What a dish right there, too. That's, one underrated aspect that we all love about James Harden. And look at that. Oh, my gosh, the no look. We love it. We love it. I mean, Harden has the vision. And again, I will continue to say this as we go on. We don't need the Houston version of James Harden. We just need this efficient version. If we get this, things could be very, very special. Things could be very, very special. JD says there's should be over 100 likes. There really should, man. It takes a second. It helps the show out. It helps spread this content. You can even hit the share button down below. Come on, man. Support the show. Support the show, man. By the way, if you also want to support the show, send in a super chat, channel memberships, Cash App, Venmo, all those things down below as well. Let's take a look at the other one that came in. This was a little bit farther away. I think this was last week. I think we took a look at some of these, but look at Harden, man, getting these runs in. This is our Instagram page, by the way, at Philly Take with RB. Be sure to follow us there. We're posting a ton of content. Look at that step back. The little one-step hezzy. I love it. I love it. He knows how to deceive these defenders, and that's one thing I really like. And another thing I like is that he knows how to play at his pace. He can speed it up, he can slow it down, but he doesn't let the panic of the moment get to him. He doesn't let the panic of the moment get to him. And that's what I like, When he's bringing the ball down the floor, he can speed it up, slow it down. He just takes his time and finds the best look, and that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. But anyway, Harden looking good, man. Harden looking good. And I don't know. I mean, what do you think about James Harden? What does he have to be this year? What does he have to be this year? Because in my opinion, James Harden, if we look, say Harden can put up 20 points a night. And again, we will break this down further as we get into it because, we're going to get a ton of training camp footage. We're going to get, more interviews, things like that within the coming month, right? When things start to heat up. I put the preseason schedule, by the way, on the community post. We'll be covering those games, right? We'll start to get into more action, but next month is when it really heats up. For now, all we have are these little clips, are these little packages of Harden and Maxey and Embiid putting in work. If Harden can put up 20 points a game, think about it this way. You have Joel Embiid who can put up 30 on any given night. I am convinced of that at this point. Embiid can put up 30 in his sleep. Even if not, he could put up 28. He could put up 26 easy. Some nights he's going to put up 42. One night he's going to put up 55, right? James Harden, say he gives you 20. Let's just say at a base minimum can give you 20 a game. Tyrese Maxey, I'm telling you right now, this kid can give you 20 points a night whenever you need him to. You need Maxey to be that spark plug. Maybe he starts off slow. He's playing a lot off the ball. Maybe in the third quarter, Harden slows down a little bit, right? Give him some time to preserve. Maxey steps up and can give you a quick 10. And Tobias Harris, we know, can give you 18 a night. He is the 18 point per game type of guy. You think about those four players right there. In fact, those four can give you an easy 75 to 80 points on a given night. All we need is some production out of our bench, man. This can be a good team. Then obviously you have other guys spotting up. You have these guys knocking down shots, and everybody's getting into the flow. See, that's the thing. And to bring up the next part, that I want to talk about in a few minutes here. People, I think, are really overthinking this. A lot of the feedback I've gotten, whether it's on Instagram or Twitter, is, James Harden didn't look good in the playoffs. Let me tell you right now, he doesn't have to be elite. Now, he needs to be elite in certain moments, right? Maybe we need a James Harden step back three, but it doesn't have to be a consistent James Harden running through type of offense. It doesn't have to be a 95% utilization of him on the offensive side, because you're playing with one of the greatest centers, I could argue, talent-wise, ever. He never had that. Then you're playing with a young cat who's hungry like Tyrese Maxey. He never had that. He had guys, but he never had this much firepower around him, especially in terms of star power at the center position. He just needs to be efficient. He just needs to be efficient. And if he is healthier, now again, there are going to be expectations. If somehow James Harden did step up and be his elite self for an 82-game season, sure, we'd all be surprised, but, that would put us way, way over the top. We just need him to be efficient because we have weapons on this team, but they have to be utilized the right way. That's another key part of this that we will definitely talk about. Definitely a key part of what we will talk about. We'll get to the phones in just a few minutes. Once again, 508-924-3784. Shout out to everybody here in the show. Guys, hit the thumbs up. We need to get it to 100 likes. You know how the show goes, man. Let me know if you guys have been enjoying the format of the shows. Been trying to get some feedback. It's been fun talking about things. Obviously, again, it's a dry time, but hey, man, there's still a lot to go around. We're going to be doing a show either tomorrow or the next day about Tyrese Maxey. I have some bold things to say about him. There's a lot to get into, man. There's a lot to get into. But anyway, the other main thing that people have been talking about, and we need to discuss this. We need to get serious here. Not that we're not, but we need to get serious here for a second, okay? Because I have some things to say about this. So Scottie Barnes at the Rico Hines runs, the most recent clip footage to come out of James Harden, right? Everybody started to surface this one clip of Scottie Barnes active on his toes, saying that he clamped up James Harden, which he did. It was a nice defensive possession, and Harden shot it way off the backboard. And we need to talk about this. Now, again, as I said about 5 to 10 minutes ago, I'm not going to overreact about these videos. Yes, it is nice to see, and I do believe that some of these things we see from Harden will translate to a game. Like, when you go back and think about Ben Simmons, that's an anomaly, right? We can expect some of these things that he's working on to show up in the game. But as it pertains to James Harden, here is why this clip right here is being taken completely out of context. And honestly, I don't care about it. Number one, Scottie Barnes is the reigning rookie of the year. It's not like he's a scrub, right? He's a good player. He's quick. He's young. He's just over 20 years old. The kid can play, man. He can run. And he showed that for a long stretch this past year. So I can't really say, oh, James Harden can't beat just any player off the. No, this is Scottie Barnes. He is a talented young, soon to be maybe phenom in this league eventually. I mean, he showed a lot of potential. And Scottie Barnes is clapping that, that's what guys do, right? When they ball, that's what they do, man. They get into it. But here's why I really do not care about this clip. Because once again, we don't need this version of James Harden consistently. Like, what does this tell me right here? It tells me that he struggled on a possession against Scottie Barnes. I want to see James Harden in pick and roll sets with Joel Embiid. Let's see how they're going to defend that. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be very difficult to. Sure, we need this Harden once in a while, right? We need that flashy step back, which he showed last year. We need Harden to once in a while go for a 10-point stretch by himself. We do need that, and we will need that, especially in the playoffs. But we need an efficient Harden. We need a James Harden that's going to work in guys like Tyrese Maxey, Tobias, some of the shooters like PJ Tucker. We need a James Harden that knows how to defer to Joel Embiid. How about Joel Embiid setting a screen here? Do you think Scottie Barnes is going to get around that? I'll tell you what, the answer is no. So great, James Harden couldn't beat Scottie Barnes on this possession off the dribble from 30 feet away. I'm not going to use this now to say that he can't beat anybody off the dribble. I know he can. And what I want to see is James Harden driving to the rack, drawing contact, getting to the free throw line, playing the smart game. That's what I want to see from James Harden. Now, if we come out in the beginning of the season and he can't beat anybody off the dribble, then yeah, I'm going to be worried. But this is the Rico Hines run in LA. Like I said earlier, you know, it's good to see James Harden in terms of his shape. It looks like he's in better shape. Now, if Harden goes and puts up 50 points in this game, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my gosh, I mean, this is the best performance of all time. It'll be nice to see, but I want to see him in good shape. I want to see him working on his mechanics, being the best team player that he can be. And I think an efficient James Harden will unlock this offense. We saw glimpses of it. And I think this was a good defensive possession by Scottie Barnes. That's it. Like, I'm not going to then overreact and say that he's done. Like, it, you know, again, people are overthinking this entire thing this offseason. He just needs to get a little bit healthier, and he's already a very smart basketball player. He's already a very smart basketball player. He just needs to get back to 100%. So we'll see what happens. But, you know, this is like a classic pickup game on the streets, right? Guys clapping in each other's face, bringing that energy. I mean, it happens. It happens. So I'm not going to worry about this at all. I'm going to continue to look for these Harden clips. I like them. And once again, be sure you're following the Instagram page at Philly Take with RB. I mean, we're going to keep posting them. It's nice to see. It's nice to see these guys working on their craft, but you know, you can't really worry about it so much like that. Like, it's the end of the world. But yeah, man, we do have some more things to talk about. We'll circle back to how this whole Kevin Durant thing unfolds, because like I said, all this ties in together. It's a beautiful show if you think about it. We go from the Nets to the Sixers, how this all relates. Harden getting better and working back to himself. Harden working better and getting back to himself. We will get to the phone lines in just a second. We have a few people waiting on the line. Definitely interested to hear. Call into the show and give some thoughts. How do you feel about James Harden? How do you feel about this whole situation transpiring with Kevin Durant and the NBA? Give me some thoughts in the chat. Shout out to everybody in here. Hit that thumbs up button. Definitely want to hear from the people as always. That's a big part of this show, right? We try to incorporate, you know, the fan part of it. We try to get those thoughts. But before we get to the phone lines, once again, shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Let's Get Checked, the leading provider for at-home testing kits. Let's Get Checked makes professional health testing easy by letting you get tested without having to visit a healthcare provider. With Let's Get Checked, you can order a testing kit that will be delivered to you in discreet packaging. Once your completed test is sent in and the sample arrives in the lab, confidential results will be available from your secure online account within 2 to 5 days. The results are reviewed by a clinician, and a member of the Let's Get Checked nursing team may call you to review your results. Their laboratories are CLIA approved and CAP accredited, which are the highest ranking levels of accreditation. So if you are like me and you want to avoid those long, tiresome, dull, boring, hot doctor's offices, you don't want to get that exposure, and you want to get those rapid results that you need right from your own house, check out Let's Get Checked. Their link is down in the description. Click the link and get 25% off using the code Philly25. Once again, link down in the description. And later I will show you guys the product. I have it right over there. I will grab it later on. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Let's go to the 267. 267. Yo, what's going on? Yo. Yo.
Uh-huh.
Yo, what's good?
Uh-huh.
You sleeping? My man woke up. My man was listening to the show, taking a nap. Come on, you guys got to be ready. You guys got to be ready. My man had the phone resting on his ear. But he wasn't ready. Where are the consistent callers, man? The people that call, where are they at, man? My man was slumped. It's all good. It's all good, man. Anyway, we'll take a little pause from that, and hopefully we'll get some consistent callers popping in here. But anyway, let's talk about what happened this last weekend. So James Harden and Kevin Durant, like I said, this all circles in. It comes full circle, right? Here they are at Travis Scott's concert. It's lit. No pun intended. Here in London. Yes, that is James Harden. That is Kevin Durant. It is not photoshopped. Here they are partying together, doing their thing. So you tell me, what does this mean? It means what I started off the show with. There is no beef between James Harden and Kevin Durant. Maybe KD was mad at him. Maybe he felt some type of way when he had to draft that all-star team and his boy just got traded. Maybe he was pissed off, but they have worked out the differences, and tying it back, Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons are the issues. Because here they are. Here they are having fun at the concert. They're getting lit. By the way, we've seen a lot of footage of James Harden recently out at these concerts. You know, do whatever you want off the floor. As long as you show up and perform on the court come game one, I am completely happy. You got to be ready to go. No doubt about it. But I've been saying, you know, if we have a parade down Broad Street, I mean, Meek's going to be there. Lil Baby, Travis, every other artist you can think of. This man, James Harden, has the connections. He might even be rapping. But nonetheless, we need Harden to be ready, and here he is with Kevin Durant. So I actually put out a tweet in response to this. It was just a joke. I said KD to Philly with a question mark, and that tweet just blew up. People were coming at me for days. They were saying, yo, what are you talking about? Like, guys can have a conversation, all this stuff. I was just joking around, but the fact of the matter is, all right, well, you know, Kevin Durant wants a trade. He will be gone. And it was not James Harden's fault. He was not the problem child. We know who it was. And they seem to be cool again. My guy, Run It Back Philly in the chat. What's going on? DJ says, I wouldn't trade Tyrese Maxey for MJ in his prime. A lot of people thought that I was, you know, saying I was ready to trade Maxey. You know, look, I was just joking about the KD thing. I promise. The power of the internet nowadays, you can just say anything and people will, you know, gravitate to it. But here they are. And even further, here's James Harden, KD. They're spraying Travis with, you know, I don't even know what that is, some kind of drink. They were screaming number one, top of the world, or whatever else. I guess Travis is number one on the charts right now. And, you know, Harden loves it. Harden's like a, you know, he's like a hype man at this point. Harden and KD were having a time, man. They were having a lot of fun. And there's no problem between them. They have sorted out whatever happened there. And once again, Harden got out of the toxic situation. KD's next. Yeah, exactly. Nick, James Harden wine is going to be, you know, top notch, especially if we have a parade. Imagine that. They're going to be throwing James Harden wine bottles all over the place. And, yeah, man, it's just, you know, at this point, it's very evident. It's very apparent what is going on here. So you tell me, well, you know, KD, Harden, what does this mean? KD is out of Brooklyn. And what does this mean for the rest of the Eastern Conference? Well, here's what it means. It means that, you know, we need to be careful here. Here's what I mean. There have been talks about KD going to the Celtics. There have been talks about KD going to the Heat. There have been talks about KD going to the Pelicans. All these teams, I don't know what's going to happen because the Brooklyn Nets don't have much of a trajectory. They are locked into a man who will not shoot a jump shot for 3 years. They're locked into another man who opted into his player option, who might show up to some of the games, might not. And then they have one of the best players in the world, talent-wise, who wants to leave. They don't have many options, and they don't control many draft picks. Now, as Sixers fans, if KD, by the way, if KD ever wanted to come here, You got to be willing to give up what it takes to get him. I'm sorry, it is what it is. KD and Joel Embiid together, for example, that would be a championship. I would love it. I would love it. Even though KD, does get in his feels sometimes. Or even imagine KD Harden. What if they teamed? How crazy would it be if they teamed back up together in Philly with Embiid? How crazy would that be? How crazy would that story be? But anyway, what we need to be careful of KD going to another Eastern Conference team. We need him to get the heck out of here and go back to the West. We need him to go back to the West. We need KD to go back to the West and get out of our hairs, because no matter how much, he comes at people on Twitter or, this or that, KD is a heck of a ball player. And the Brooklyn Nets I don't know what they're going to do at this point, because, again, the ownership wants to go with the coaching staff. They don't want to pick KD, and KD is not going to play. So who knows what's going to happen. But we need to hope KD gets out of this conference and goes back to the other conference. Because if, for example, if he went to a team like the Celtics, that's going to be a hard team to stop. Now, they're going to have to give up a ton to get him. But, I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with it. There was never any beef. It's just basketball. Exactly. And these guys played together in OKC. Right. And, there wasn't any real beef. They tried to paint it out to be, again, to fit the agenda. And it's crazy how all this works out. But anyway, we need to be careful about that. But at the same time, we can sit back and laugh a little bit, because, again, as Sixers fans, especially people like me who have come up here and I've put my thoughts out there in the public eye for some time, just seeing how this all works out. I mean, imagine being a Nets fan. There's this one account on Twitter that I follow, and it's crazy. I almost feel bad. Now, again, the Nets don't have a lot of authentic fans that have truly been fans of that team for a while. But imagine being a true Nets fan. I know one of them in real life. You got all these superstars on your team, and you gave up your young core, your future draft assets. And you couldn't put together more than 10 to 15 games of all of them playing at the same time. I mean, it's just nuts. It's nuts. I almost feel bad for them, which is saying something. It really is. Mr. Man says 34-year-old KD, I don't want him at this point. I would disagree with that. KD's still one of the best players in the world. KD can light you up on any night. KD and Joel Embiid is literally unstoppable. And, there's just not many other ways to say it. They are unstoppable. And, if you have a chance to get Kevin Durant, you have to. But again, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen in Philadelphia. You can forget about it. We don't have the flexibility, none of it, to make that happen, unless the Brooklyn Nets just settled for nothing. But I don't see them going that route. What I actually see happening is the Nets are going to try to get another star, and they're going to try to paint up this beautiful picture of Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, and another star. That's what's going to happen. And, the media is going to talk about them like they are going to contend and compete, but they're probably going to end up playing 10 games together, and they're going to crumple. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, I've been right about this entire thing. I don't think it's going to last. Someone on the Instagram page the other day commented, and they said, your take about Ben Simmons is getting more accurate every day. And I thought about that, and I said, you're actually right. My bold hot take where I said he might never play again. I mean, is he going to play? I don't know. Is Kyrie Irving going to play? I don't know. KD can't go back and play with them boys. I'm telling you, it will cause a fire in that locker room. Not a good one either. When a guy says multiple times that he wants out, when he reiterates, yo, get me out of here, and the owner, Joe Ty, In fact, his name's not even Joe. It should be Joe Lie, because he is lying to himself if he thinks that keeping Steve Nash is the answer over Kevin Durant. When you are a team and you have given up 55 draft picks, okay, and every young player you have to get a guy like Kevin Durant and get James Harden, and you're seeing this crumple already, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to keep Kevin Durant happy. I'm sorry, it is what it is. It's a star-driven league. And if you lose Kevin Durant, you know you're probably going to lose Kyrie Irving, and then you're stuck with Ben Simmons being the focal point of your team. And do I have to explain how that's going to play out? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is getting interesting. Do you guys think that Kevin Durant will be playing game 1 with the Brooklyn Nets? I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Now, they may not have any options. They may have exhausted everything. And they may get to the point where they say, well, you know, you either play or we'll have to wait and find a trade. If they get to that point, it's sad. And right now, what it means for the rest of the league is there's going to be teams interested, but it could end up being really, really good for the Eastern Conference. Because if you get KD back to the West, I'm telling you, you look at this Eastern Conference, I think the Sixers are up there in the top 3. I do. Maybe I'm crazy. Am I crazy? You got Boston up there for sure. You have to keep Milwaukee respectable. Other than those two, who should I fear in the Eastern Conference in terms of at least the regular season right now, in terms of being a stabilized franchise, overtaking the Sixers? Who? Miami, they've lost a little bit of a step. They lost a guy like PJ Tucker to the Philadelphia 76ers. They could have hit their peak. Atlanta, sure, they're going to be promising. Are they ready to take that step? I don't know. Who else? The Wizards? No. The Knicks? No. Who? You get Kevin Durant out of this conference, the Sixers have a very good shot. This will be the best shot for them to go all the way and win an NBA championship. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect any other teams. I'm not saying none of them are respectable. I'm just saying in terms of who I would have confidence in come game 1 starting the season. Just being honest. Just being honest. And that's not to say that the Sixers don't have flaws. They need to get better as well. They need to get better and they need to mesh and all this stuff. Harden needs to look good. We know that, right? They need to stay healthy. But, I mean, I know who the Sixers have right now. Look at the starting 5. I mean, they can compete with anybody. They can. I don't know. Look, if there's any other teams I should be worried about right now based on what we see, let me know. Let me know. Call into the show, 508-924-3784. If you're just tuning in for some reason, first off, hit the like button. We're still not at 100 likes. Maybe I'm just washed. Maybe I should retire. Maybe I should go join Brooklyn. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, man, hit the like button, subscribe to the show, ring the bell. All right, these notifications act weird. People hit me up all the time on Twitter. They're like, I didn't even get the notification for your show. Why? Why? Everybody should get the notification. They should know that we're live. Come on, man. I need you guys supporting the show, man. That's how we're going to bring this thing to the top. But for the people that are in here supporting, by the way, I'm going to say something to you guys right now that I will not say publicly for a while. Giveaway coming soon. If you're in here, if you're rocking with the show, if you're a loyal supporter, you will soon know how to enter the upcoming giveaways. And we have a couple of them coming. And we have more news coming, more things with the show coming. I promise you. I need you guys' support, man. Kyle says you forgot the Bucks, though. I said the Bucks. I said Milwaukee and Boston. Those are the two that are respectable in my eyes. Other than those two, who am I looking at? Who? Yeah, I believe anybody can call in. I believe anybody can call in. Speaking of which, we got someone calling from the Bronx. Let's go. Maybe it's a Nets fan. Let's go to the Bronx. Yo, what's going on? Yo. You sleeping too? Yo. Yo. Going once, going twice to the Bronx. And you're out. Nobody's ready, man. I think I'm going to retire. It's just the dead of the offseason. I feel you. I feel you, man. And I get that. See, that's the one part they don't tell you about being a content creator, man, trying to cover a team. It's tough. It's tough in the offseason, right? Trying to talk about different things. But I'm just here bringing the coverage that I can. I mean, we're talking about valid things here. We're sprinkling in some news, talking about how it relates to the team. And, we're having a good time. We're looking at some workout videos, some off-season things, man. Some off-season things, man. If the Jazz can get 4 first-rounders for Gobert, what can the Nets get? Exactly. They messed up the market. That's another thing that factors into this whole equation. The Nets are going to demand a king's ransom. They're going to demand 6 first-round picks, 3 players. We heard about what the proposed offer was, right, for Donovan Mitchell. There's these guys out there, and nowadays stars can just request out and they want to go anywhere they want. And, think about the packages that are being even brought up in conversations. I mean, it would take a king's ransom. It would take almost your whole team. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you guys think KD will be on the Nets come game 1? Do you think they will be able to work it out? I'm still living and dying on this hill. I don't know how available Kyrie will be. I don't know where his mindset's at. He's a skilled, talented ball player. Will he be ready? I don't know. And I'll tell you what right now, I don't think Ben Simmons is going to be ready come game 1. That's just my thoughts. I think they're going to kind of nurse the back injury and he had a surgery. They're going to talk about that. I don't know if he's going to be ready for a while. I'm just saying. But hey, don't kill the messenger, man. All right, let's go back to the phones. Let's try the third time. Let's see if the third time's the charm. Let's see if the third time is the charm. To the 832 we go. Brian, what's going on? Brian, what's going on?
What's good, RB?
Yo, what's good? Wow, an actual caller. Are you ready? Are you sleeping?
No, I'm good, bro.
All right, good. Let's hear some ball talk, man. Let's go.
Man, we definitely not getting KD. Everybody should know that.
Yeah, we're not getting KD.
I think we're in a good position. Huh?
I said, yeah, we're not getting KD. There's no way. It's not happening.
Nah, man. I think we're in a good position, though, to go far this year. I think we added toughness, defense. I think the only thing we missing is a backup B just in case Embiid get hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I hope Bassey can take a step, man, but I don't know. I think we might have to address that.
Oh, yeah. Other than that, man, I think we good to go. I'm ready. I'm excited for the season, man. I can't wait till October.
Love it, man. Brian, appreciate the call. That's a good call right there. Straight to the point. Talking the talk. You know it, man. I agree with him, though. I think the backup center position will be an area that we need to address eventually. I don't think Doc Rivers will be comfortable throwing Charles Bassey out into the fire. I think what he's going to try to do, now this is obviously far in advance of the training camp, and jobs can be won in training camp, but I think what's going to happen, pending, everything goes the way we expect it to, I think Paul Reed is going to try to play the backup 5. I just don't know if he's going to be able to sustain that, especially early on in the season. I don't know if he's ready for that. And yeah, I don't know. I think we might have to address that, but we need the bench to step up. We certainly do. Back to the phones we go. 267. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
I mean, I'm a Sixers fan and I'm African, you feel me?
Say it again. I didn't hear that last part.
I say I'm a Sixers fan. I just came from Africa right now, so I'm a Sixers fan since back home.
Wow, Sixers fan from Africa. What's going on, man? How you feeling about the team?
I mean, right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know the team is great, but I don't trust Doc Rivers. I'm gonna be honest with you. He can't adjust, bro.
I understand your concern. I understand your concern. He needs to step it up this year, and he needs to be willing to adapt and adjust and not be stubborn. It's a big ask for Doc Rivers, but we need it. We need it.
And what I was about to say, and I feel like sometimes, Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Harden sometimes he needs to play off the ball, man. Like, we need to be catching two players sometimes. Let Maxey bring you the ball sometimes and all that.
Yeah, I think he will. I think the emergence of Tyrese Maxey once again. Tyrese Maxey, we'll be talking about him on a show coming up this week. I think he's ready to take that step. I think he's ready to emerge and be, the Tyrese Maxey that puts himself on the map. I think Maxey is going to improve. People are asking how much of a statistical improvement will he make? Well, it's kind of hard to do that given the fact in your first year as a starter, you made such a massive jump. But I think using the eye tested, the people that will watch this team night in, night out, like myself, hopefully we see Maxey make smarter decisions with the basketball, know when to pick his spots, know when to step it up, kick it into gear, right? That's what we really need to look for in Tyrese Maxey. And if you can get that right balance of Maxey, Harden, Embiid, if you can get all those guys flowing together, and each of those guys, maybe Joel goes for 30 one night and Maxey goes for 24 and Harden goes for 20 and 12. Maybe we can get that or something of that nature. If we can get those guys flowing in rhythm together, this could be a really good offense. And then, again, Tobias can step up and hopefully knock down some shots for you. PJ Tucker, right? Both sides of the ball, getting up in there. What we really need is the defensive side to step up. We need to, not get lost, especially late in games, in my opinion. Sometimes under Doc Rivers, we've seen this team take their foot off the gas pedal, and, we don't want that. We want to have those championship habits, right? We want to build this culture. We want to have this team ready. We want to make some noise. So that's what I'm hoping for. Someone said, if I hit the like, can we stop taking phone calls? Hey, man, we're always taking calls. That's a part of the show, man. That's one of the reasons I do this show is to bring the community of the fans together and have a place where we can all vent and talk and discuss and debate and give you that in-depth coverage, man. So you should have hit the like button already. We're almost at 100. We're not there yet. But we are almost there. But yeah, man, I mean, we talked about a bunch of stuff. James Harden. I mean, there's only so much we can say at this point, and I know you guys are probably just like, man, I mean, I have people messaging me saying, yo, I'm so excited for the season. I feel that. I need this team to be back, right? We're going full in on the coverage here. I mean, we're breaking it down every single way. I'm here to tell you right now, this team should have big aspirations. They should be wanting to, take that next step this year. This has to be the year, by the way. I mean, again, we'll talk about this as we get closer to training camp. I'm working on some things, by the way, trying to get some people on the show and all this stuff. But come training camp time in a few weeks, 3-4 weeks, I'm ready to see what this team has to offer, right? Last year, there was a lot of uncertainty. And when James Harden came to the Sixers, obviously they had to learn on the fly. Now they have an off, like this is so nice to have an off season where these guys can just mesh, where these guys can just, work on that chemistry and get things down. Now, again, I do have some concerns and we'll see how those, work out and play out, but I don't know, man. I'm expecting big things from this team. Now, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but there's no reason that this Sixers team should not be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Maybe I'm crazy. Tell me if I'm crazy. I don't know, man. I mean, I think they should. Speed Demon says D'Anthony not being talked about enough. He'll be underrated. Yeah. Yeah, we need Melton to step up. We need D'Anthony Melton to be that guy off the bench. I'm very interested to see how the rotations will work out. I'm sure as we get to training camp, we will see, what Doc is running, who's running with the ones, the twos, all that type of stuff. But it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see. And I can't wait till we get there. I can't wait till we get there. I can't wait till we get there. Kevin says the call-in shows are the best. Shout out to Kevin. Shout out to all the callers, by the way, even the guy that was sleeping on the phone. I think I woke him up. But anyway, hopefully come season time, training camp, all that, we'll have consistent callers because we have some good people that call in the show. Again, that's a big emphasis point here. So we'll see. Shout out to everybody supporting the show, hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing, ringing the bell. Lots of content to come your way. Lots of content to come your way. Other than that, man, I don't really have much else. If there's one thing you need to take away from this show, take away this. Number one, Harden is working. He's getting the flow going. He's working on his body. He has hit a point where he wants to be recognized. He wants to realize, people to realize that, this is your shot. Do you want to go out as the guy with all the accolades that never, got to the finals? Or do you want to try to solidify that legacy now that you have a elite big man, now that you have other talent? Do you want to be that guy? I think James Harden believes in Joel Embiid as well. I think that's another point that goes under the radar. Like, James Harden, a lot of people talk about his character. Well, he seems to have really bought in here. When James Harden went to Brooklyn, I don't really recall, every single press conference saying, yeah, I fully believe in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and this and that. I don't really recall that. But I recall every Sixers press conference, every time they talk to Harden, it's, me and Joe, we're going to get me and Maxey. Me and Joe. And Tobias doing it. Like, James Harden instantly came in here. Remember, he was coaching up Tyrese Maxey during a game. Like, I think he likes it here. I think he likes being here. And obviously having his guy in Daryl Morey, who will take care of him, is another big thing. But Harden feels comfortable, and I think he's growing that relationship. We've seen him and Embiid off the court together, and we've seen him and Maxey and all these things, so it'll be good. It'll be good to see. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We haven't seen much film of Joe. We haven't seen many things from him. I think he's getting in the gym even more. I think he's tired of getting hurt in the big moments. I think he's conditioning himself. I do, and that's not to say he hasn't the last couple of years. He definitely has, but I think, when you think about the last couple of years, Joel Embiid, he's increased, right? He's taken another step, and we start to think, like, is there another step he can take? Yeah, there is, and it's just working on everything in his bag. I mean, last year, Joel Embiid was doing things we didn't think we would see. We didn't think anybody could do. I think he's going to take another step. I think he's going to come back motivated. He also realized this is the shot. This is the big shot. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. Shouts to all the callers once again. Thank you to everybody for tuning in with me here on this Tuesday evening. We'll either be live tomorrow or the next day. We'll be talking mainly about Tyrese Maxey. So if you are a Maxey fan, let me hear you in the chat. And, be sure to come through. And like I said, as the weeks go on, we're going to continue to pump the coverage and talk about a lot of different things with this team and just cover it all, man. That's what we try to do. We're breaking it down as we see it. Any news comes out, we got you covered. That's what we do here on the show. Number one show, providing the passion to the fans, breaking it all down, man. That's what we do. That is what we do. Once again, shout out to our sponsor of the show, Let's Get Checked, leading provider for at-home medical testing kits. Once again, if you want to avoid those long, uncomfortable, boring doctor's visits, if you want to get tested right from home immediately, in the blink of an eye, go check out Let's Get Checked. They will take care of you. Click that link down below in the description and use promo code Philly25 for 25% off your order. Shout out to the sponsors for making it happen. We will continue to keep going and growing, but we need that support, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, follow the Instagram page at PhillyTake with RB. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the show. Come connect with me on Twitter at RBPhillyTake. We are growing this thing. Let's keep going. Let's keep it going, man. Jerry says Maxey isn't getting traded because he's just as good as Mitchell. Sixers have nothing to offer the Nets. Yeah, I think Maxey will be here. I think Daryl Morey loves him, and I'm excited for Maxey. I think he's going to take another leap, at least in terms of the eye test. I think Maxey's going to be very, very, very good this year, and he's going to put his name out there, but we will definitely have more on him coming up. We will definitely have more on him coming up. But anyway, shouts to everybody for coming through, man. Once again, Philly Take with RB. I'm RB. Hit the thumbs up button. Come connect with us everywhere. Thank you for supporting the show. James Harden, Kevin Durant, partying it up with Travis Scott. Ben Simmons, fiasco again, having some fun. And who knows where KD's going to land, but it will have an impact on the Eastern Conference. Sixers coming up soon, man. You guys have a great rest of your night. Be safe, everybody, and take care. See you later. Peace.